You've always felt it, haven't you? That subtle, almost imperceptible hum beneath the surface of everyday life, a layer of meaning or a nuance that seems to elude most people. While others rush past, seemingly content with the obvious, your mind pauses, dissects, and seeks what lies beneath. You observe the unspoken, the unseen currents of human interaction, the quiet architecture of a thought, the unacknowledged motivations behind a casual remark. It's as if you're perceiving the world through a different lens, a higher resolution filter that picks up on details, patterns, and emotional frequencies that remain invisible to the majority. This isn't just about being observant. It's about a fundamental difference in how your brain processes reality, a unique calibration that shapes your entire experience. Here's the thing nobody talks about. This isn't a quirk. It's a profound aspect of your neurological wiring. What you will understand today completely changes how you see your own mind, your sensitivity, and your unique way of navigating the world, transforming what you might have once considered a burden into an undeniable strength. For so long, society has subtly, or not so subtly, pushed us towards a single, idealized mold of what a functioning, successful human should be. We're told to be resilient, to shrug things off, to not take things too personally, to keep moving forward, always forward, never looking back. If you've ever found yourself struggling to conform to this relentless pursuit of superficial optimism or quick-fix solutions, if you felt a quiet disconnect from the prevailing currents of thought, you might have worried, perhaps even subconsciously, that something was inherently different, or even wrong, with you. Let's be absolutely clear. This doesn't mean you're strange. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. On the contrary, it suggests a rich, intricate internal landscape that deserves to be understood, not suppressed. The truth is, human beings are not built from a single blueprint. There are profound, innate differences in our psychological and neurological functioning, variations as natural and diverse as our physical appearances. Some minds are wired for breadth, for covering vast ground quickly. Others, like yours, are wired for depth, for excavating the intricate layers hidden beneath the surface. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about acknowledging the beautiful, complex spectrum of human cognition and emotion. The scientific community has, for decades, been exploring these fundamental differences, moving beyond simplistic labels to understand the intricate mechanisms at play. One of the groundbreaking concepts that sheds light on this unique wiring is what's broadly known as sensory processing sensitivity, or SBS. Pioneering research, for instance, has illuminated how certain individuals possess a nervous system that processes sensory input and internal stimuli more deeply and thoroughly. This isn't just about being sensitive to loud noises or bright lights, though that can certainly be a component. It extends to processing emotional nuances, subtle changes in social dynamics, even the implicit meanings in a conversation. And neuroscience explains why. Studies using fMRI have shown that individuals with higher sensitivity tend to exhibit increased activation in brain regions associated with attention, emotional processing, and empathy, such as the insula, the prefrontal cortex, and the anterior cingulate cortex. For example, when faced with new information or a complex social situation, most people might glance at the surface, grasp the gist, and move on. But for people like you, your brain automatically engages in a more exhaustive analysis, integrating past experiences, current context, and potential future implications. You're not just seeing, you're perceiving, interpreting, and weaving a complex tapestry of understanding. This deep processing capacity means you notice the faint tremor in someone's voice, the fleeting expression that contradicts their words, the subtle shift in atmosphere that others seem oblivious to. It's a constant, often unconscious, integration of vast amounts of information. And if you find yourself nodding along, realizing that this deep dive into the architecture of the mind resonates with something profound within you, a quiet recognition of your own unique way of being in the world, then you're precisely the kind of person this channel is for. We explore these deeper currents of human psychology, behavioral neuroscience, and the often unseen truths of existence, because understanding your own extraordinary wiring is the first step to truly harnessing its power. Consider joining a community of minds that think differently, that feel deeply, and that are hungry for insights that validate their unique path. But this is where it gets interesting and perhaps a little uncomfortable for some. Our brains are incredibly efficient learning machines, constantly reinforcing what we pay attention to, what we value, and what brings us a sense of reward or meaning. For the deeply perceptive mind, this constant, nuanced processing isn't just a passive reception, it's an active engagement that reshapes neural pathways. The very act of noticing more, of feeling more, of reflecting more, creates a powerful feedback loop. The brain learns that this deep processing yields valuable insights, a richer understanding, a more profound sense of connection to the world, even if it comes with the cost of occasional overwhelm. This isn't just about dopamine hits from external rewards, it's about the intrinsic reward of making sense of a complex world, of uncovering hidden truths. This neurobiological mechanism subtly yet profoundly reinforces your disposition to delve deeper. It's a subconscious drive, a part of your identity that becomes deeply ingrained. You're not just choosing to be reflective. Your brain is literally wired to seek and amplify these deeper patterns. This sounds contradictory, but the very burden of deep processing becomes its own reward, a self-perpetuating cycle of insight. It's a mechanism far more serious than a simple preference, shaping your entire worldview and decision-making process in ways you might not fully realize. It means that what might seem like overthinking from an external perspective is, from an internal perspective, a highly sophisticated, adaptive system for navigating an intricate reality. In this vast landscape of human experience, we can broadly observe two distinct, yet equally valid, psychological profiles. On one side, we have the external processors, individuals who thrive on immediate feedback, who find their energy in dynamic social interactions, who often make decisions quickly based on readily available information and outward success metrics. They are often driven by external validation, by the applause, the recognition, the tangible results. Their mode of operation is often expansive, focusing on breadth and action. Their brains are incredibly efficient at filtering out what they deem unnecessary detail to maintain momentum and achieve visible goals. Then, on the other side, we have the internal processors, people who derive their energy from solitude, who require significant time for reflection and introspection, who measure success not just by external accolades, but by internal congruence, depth of understanding, and the quality of their inner world. These are the individuals who prefer to gather all the data, weigh all the nuances, and understand the underlying dynamics before making a move. Both archetypes make profound sense in the grand scheme of human evolution. One is crucial for immediate action, for leading the charge, for rapid adaptation to external changes. The other is vital for long-term planning, for understanding complex systems, for innovation driven by deep insight, and for fostering empathy and connection. And while the world often celebrates the former, you, likely, resonate deeply with the latter profile. You are the one who sees layers where others see only surfaces, who feels the reverberations of emotions long after the initial event, and who finds profound satisfaction in the quiet excavation of truth, rather than the loud declaration of victory. This fundamental difference in processing also extends to how we allocate and experience empathy. For many, empathy can be a cognitive exercise, understanding another person's perspective intellectually. It's a useful tool for social navigation, for managing relationships, and for achieving collective goals. But for people like you, empathy often manifests as a deeply felt, almost visceral experience. It's not just understanding, it's feeling with, absorbing the emotional currents, sometimes to the point of blurring the lines between your own feelings and those of others. This profound capacity for emotional attunement means you pick up on subtle cues of distress or joy, often before others are even consciously aware of them. And because you feel so deeply, your sense of identity and self-worth often becomes intricately linked to the authenticity and depth of your connections, and to your own internal compass. External validation, while pleasant, often feels hollow if it doesn't align with your deeply held values or your intuitive sense of truth. You crave resonance, not just applause. This can sometimes lead to an internal struggle, especially in a world that often rewards conformity and superficial displays. But here's the validation you need to hear: your capacity for deep empathy is not a burden. It is a profound instrument for understanding, often misunderstood, but incredibly powerful. It allows you to connect on levels others can only glimpse, to offer comfort and insight that transcends simple words, and to navigate the complexities of human relationships with a wisdom born of genuine feeling. Your self-esteem isn't built on what you do in the external world, but on who you are in your internal world. But why are some minds wired this way? Why this inherent difference in how we perceive and process? These deep psychological preferences often have origins that are invisible to the casual observer, woven into the fabric of our personal histories and early experiences. Sometimes, this heightened sensitivity is simply innate, a genetic predisposition, like having a particular eye color, and neuroscience explains why. Research into gene variants, such as those related to dopamine receptors or serotonin transporters, suggests a biological basis for differential sensitivity to environmental stimuli. For others, it can be a subtle adaptation to early life environments where hyper-awareness was a survival strategy. Perhaps you grew up in an environment where emotional nuances were critical to navigate, where unspoken tensions needed to be intuited, or where explicit communication was often lacking. In such contexts, developing a keen sensitivity to subtle cues, a slight shift in tone, a fleeting glance, the unspoken undercurrents, became an invaluable tool. It wasn't a flaw, it was a sophisticated defensive mechanism, an internal radar system that allowed you to anticipate, understand, and adapt. This could have involved experiences of subtle rejection, feeling misunderstood, or simply being in an environment that didn't quite match your internal rhythm. These experiences aren't about pathology, they are about forming a rich, complex internal world where you learn to rely on your own perceptions, to trust your own nuanced understanding, building an inner world that became a sanctuary and a source of profound insight. This isn't about being broken, it's about being profoundly attuned, a finely calibrated instrument shaped by the very forces that surrounded you. With these distinct ways of processing the world come vastly different approaches to seeking meaning and purpose in life. For many, the search for meaning is an external quest, accumulating achievements, building a family, contributing to a community in visible ways, adhering to established narratives of success. Their lives unfold as a series of defined goals, each checked off providing a burst of satisfaction. Their meaning is often found in participation, in the collective story, in the tangible impact they make on the external world. But for people like you, the quest for meaning often takes a more internal, contemplative path. It's less about accumulating and more about understanding. It's about seeking congruence between your internal values and your external actions, finding patterns in the chaos, and contributing to a deeper, often unspoken, truth. Your meaning might be found in the quiet moments of creation, in the deep dive into a complex idea, in the profound connection with another soul, or in the art of making sense of the human condition itself. You are less of a participant in a predefined story and more of a creator of your own, deeply personal narrative, often weaving together disparate threads of experience into a coherent, meaningful whole. This isn't to say one is superior to the other. Neither path is inherently better. They are simply different maps to navigate the vast, often bewildering, terrain of existence. Both are essential. The world needs those who build and achieve externally, and it equally needs those who reflect, connect, and uncover the deeper truths that give all action its ultimate significance. This unique wiring also influences how you experience flow, that coveted state of complete absorption, energized focus, and enjoyment in an activity where time seems to disappear. For many, flow is often found in high-energy, externally stimulating activities, competitive sports, intense team projects, or fast-paced problem-solving that yields immediate, tangible results. They thrive on the external challenge, the clear objectives, the immediate feedback. But for people like you, your path into the state of flow is often quite different. You might find it not in the roar of the crowd, but in the quiet intensity of deep thought, in the intricate dance of creative expression, in the meticulous unraveling of a complex problem, or in the profound immersion in a piece of art or music. It's a flow state that arises from deep internal focus, from allowing your highly perceptive mind to fully engage with an intricate task, where the external world fades away, and you are operating purely within your own cognitive and emotional axis. Your flow state is less about reacting to external stimuli and more about engaging with an internal landscape of ideas, feelings, and possibilities. It's in these moments that your unique brain truly comes alive, effortlessly processing, connecting, and creating, transforming raw data into profound insight. You are more likely to find your deepest state of flow when you are operating within your own internal axis, rather than constantly reacting to external stimuli or trying to fit into someone else's rhythm. It's a testament to the power of your internal world, a space where true genius often germinates in solitude and deep contemplation. So let's bring this all together. If you've spent your life feeling like an outlier, like your internal operating system runs on different parameters than the majority, let this be your definitive validation. You are not broken. You are not missing out on anything important by not conforming to a generalized standard of normal. In fact, you possess a profound, often overlooked, advantage. Your depth, your sensitivity, your capacity for intricate perception, these are not weaknesses to be overcome, but rather finely tuned instruments that allow you to navigate the world with a richness and understanding that others might never experience. Your ability to see what others miss, to feel what others gloss over, to understand the subtle forces at play, this is your silent superpower. It allows you to forge deeper connections, to unearth more profound truths, to create with greater authenticity, and to live a life imbued with a unique, resonant meaning. Your depth is not a flaw. It is the lens through which you perceive the universe in its truest, most intricate forms. Embrace this unique wiring, understand its mechanics, and realize the immense power it grants you. If these insights have resonated with you, if they've sparked a quiet recognition of your own extraordinary mind, consider subscribing to this channel. We delve into these deep psychological truths, offering understanding and validation for those who feel deeply and think differently, helping you harness the incredible power of your unique mind. It means learning to trust your internal compass, even when it points in a direction contrary to the prevailing winds. It means creating a life that honors your need for depth, for quiet, for genuine connection, rather than relentlessly chasing external metrics of success that will always feel incomplete to your soul. This isn't about retreating from the world, but about engaging with it more authentically, bringing your unique perspective to bear on challenges and opportunities alike. Your value isn't found in trying to be someone you're not, but in fully inhabiting the intelligent, perceptive, and deeply feeling individual you already are. It's time to stop trying to dull your senses to fit in and start sharpening them to truly thrive. This means consciously choosing environments that don't overwhelm your finely tuned system, whether that's a career path that allows for deep focus, a living space that offers sanctuary, or social circles that value substance over superficiality. It means understanding that your need for solitude is not antisocial, but a vital recalibration process, a necessary return to your internal wellspring. It means recognizing that your capacity to absorb and process information so deeply requires commensurate time for integration and reflection. You cannot operate at the same frenetic pace as those who filter out much of what you perceive, and attempting to do so will inevitably lead to burnout, not fulfillment. Your strength lies in your depth, and depth requires time and space to manifest. It's about building a life not around external pressures, but around the rhythms of your own sophisticated internal world, allowing your unique perspectives and insights to flourish rather than be suppressed. This isn't just self-care. It's a strategic embrace of your core operating system, enabling you to contribute your most authentic and valuable self to the world. It is through this intentional alignment that your profound insights, your nuanced understanding of human nature, and your capacity for genuine connection become not just personal attributes, but powerful forces for positive change. You are not meant to shout the loudest, but to speak the truth that resonates most deeply, often in ways that inspire quiet revolution rather than overt upheaval. Your leadership, whether it's in your professional life, your relationships, or your creative pursuits, will stem from the integrity of your inner world, from the clarity of your vision that others might initially overlook. By honoring your true nature, you empower yourself to be a vital anchor in a turbulent world, providing depth, perspective, and a much-needed emotional intelligence that guides toward more sustainable, empathetic, and ultimately, more meaningful outcomes for everyone. This isn't an easy path in a world that often prioritizes speed and surface-level interactions. It requires courage to stand by your convictions, to choose authenticity over fleeting acceptance, and to defend your internal space from external demands. But the reward is a life lived in profound alignment, where your actions are an extension of your truest self, and your contributions carry the weight of genuine purpose. You become a living example of what it means to be fully human, not just productive. Your wisdom doesn't come from memorized facts, but from deeply processed experience, making it resilient and deeply insightful. You teach others, often without intending to, the value of pause, the richness of reflection, and the power of feeling truly seen and heard. In a world increasingly saturated with noise and distraction, your quiet depth becomes a profound invitation to reconnect with what truly matters, both individually and collectively. Embracing this way of being means accepting that you might often operate outside the mainstream, that your victories may be internal rather than externally applauded, and that your pace will likely differ from the hurried rhythm of others. But it also means discovering a reservoir of inner strength and resilience that others, who rely on external validation, may never tap into. Your journey is one of self-mastery, not of outward conquest. It's about cultivating an inner sanctuary where your insights can ripen, where your empathy can be channeled effectively, and where your unique spirit can find its most potent expression. This cultivation is not passive, it is an active, deliberate choice to honor the intricate architecture of your mind and heart, allowing you to move through life with a grounded presence, a clear vision, and an unwavering sense of who you are, independent of shifting trends or popular opinion.